One bad decision could potentially alter your life for the rest of your life, if you're lucky to survive.
Michael, wake up, bud. One, two, three.
Crashes involving drinking and driving happen to and can happen to any one of us, irrespective of nationality, irrespective of creed, irrespective of religion or your ethnic background. We're all at risk.
Please bring the patient to shock trauma.
The hardest part of my life today is living with the injury, living with the fact that I only have one arm for the rest of my life. I was very involved with sports, had a great family, a lot of friends, was involved in student government, Students Against Destructive Decisions, National Art Honor Society, did very well in school growing up. Never thought that something like this would happen to me. Telly, who was the driver of the car, we had decided to go out to the Towson bars. As soon as we got there, I took the keys from her. I said, we're not going to drive, anywhere. Or I'm not giving you your keys back until we have a designated driver, unless we have a designated driver. Telly said she would be fine to drive, and we're heading down Providence Road from the highway, heading towards Lock Raven Reservoir, going very, very fast, between 80 to 100 miles an hour. We were impaired, and she wasn't, paying attention, and she lost control of the car and came off the side of the road, sideswiped this tree, which killed her on impact, and hit the other tree head on, splitting the car in half. Her crash was so bad they couldn't identify her. I remember friends telling me that her family dentist had to come identify the body by her teeth, because she was just so badly mangled in the car crash. I was trapped in the car. The fire department had to arrive and use the jaws of life to get me out of the car. I had a collapsed lung. I lost so much blood that they had to give me a blood transfusion in the ambulance so that I would survive on my way to shock trauma. Even though I'm a survivor, every day I have to suffer the consequences. I have to live with pain. I have to live with emotional stress, post-traumatic stress, anxiety, getting around, just daily living. Do you really want this? I don't want it for you.
Single vehicle accident, approximately 50 miles an hour, head-on into a tree. I am the driver of the vehicle.
What happens when you are in a drinking and driving crash? The car is moving at so many miles an hour, and then it stops. The people inside still moving at that same speed until the body stops. When I talk to your parents after this sort of crash and this sort of effort, it's the worst part of our job. Parents pass out. Parents break down. They can't understand why you did what you did, and they can't understand why they've lost their son or their daughter. And it's my job then to try to explain to them what happened not only at the scene, what happened en route via the ambulance and the helicopter, what happened in the trauma bay when I had to cut you open, if you were lucky, what happened in the operating room, all the blood products that you got. And then to explain to them that under these circumstances, despite our best efforts, we could do nothing to save you. That's the hardest part of my job.
I never expected this to happen. My wife never expected this to happen. Kyle was a good student. He got good grades. He was an excellent wrestler, which he loved. He played football, played lacrosse. He was on the crew team, and he just lived a life as a high school student, as an athlete, and a good one. Jan and I went down to Fenwick Island to celebrate New Year's with friends of ours down there. Kyle and a buddy drove down to be with us. He left the next day to come home because he wanted to get back for wrestling practice. At about 1 o'clock in the morning, we got a call from a nurse at shock trauma, and she said that he was in the hospital and shock trauma, and he was in critical condition. So we immediately drove back from the beach to shock trauma. I don't even recall that 3-hour drive. It just seemed like I got in the car and then I was at the hospital. However, what the damage was that his head stopped. And when his head stopped, his brain didn't stop. And it kept banging around inside the skull. So the doctor came out and he said that the first 24 hours or 48 hours would be critical as far as whether he was going to live or die.
I thought I was invisible. I thought I could do anything. And sadly, that was not the case. Just one night, I decided to drink and drive. It was more like I didn't make the decision to really drink and drive as much as I was just out having fun with friends. And then I had to get home. I hit a tree at about 60 miles an hour. Spent about 3 months in a coma. Then I was in shock trauma, about to die any minute for like a month. Then I went to Canadian Hospital, which is a step-down hospital. There I relearned how to do a lot of things, like I had to relearn how to breathe, speak, eat. I was not the party boy. I was not that kid who would go out every weekend and do stuff. I am worried that people see me here. I might talk a little funny. I may walk a little funny. But that is by no means all that can happen. I was extremely lucky to survive. Everyone watching this video has a future, and they can do whatever. They can do whatever they want, but I nearly limited my future. I nearly ended my future. I hit a tree, but I very easily could have hit like a minivan full of a family of 7 and killed everyone. And then I wouldn't have gone to the nice cushy rehabilitation hospital I went to. I would have gone to jail. And I could still be there for killing everyone.
The catheters, the tubes, the breathing tubes, the feeding tubes, not being able to move, being paralyzed on a ventilator. All of that could have been avoided had you decided not to take that step to either drink or use drugs and then drive your vehicle and crash your car. As a trauma surgeon, I don't want to see you here in one of my trauma bays. And I surely don't want to have to give the news to your loved ones that despite my best efforts, you have passed.